Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be upgrading the interior on this F-Series BMW. Let me show you the 4 different mods. So to start with, we're going to be upgrading the paddle shifters to M style. These are cold to the touch, they're metal, and they feel a lot better and look a lot better in my opinion. This will be a chrome trim ring for your headlights around. And this will be going on the steering wheel, some contrast. And we have this trim piece which will be going on the center console. This is a 2018 440i X-Drive Gran Coupe. I've done the typical exterior modifications including a front lip, including upgraded grills. I just got done painting the calipers. I did the upgraded side mirrors, the lip spoiler, the diffuser. So I am enjoying the car, but I find that the interior is a little bit dull. It's just missing a few things. That wood trim doesn't help the cause, but I figure we can start with some simple upgrades which you guys can do for under $75 to spruce up the interior a little bit. So the interior mods I'm going to show you here would apply to a 3 Series or a 4 Series, so F30 or F32 or 36. This is going to be one of them, just a simple little trim piece which sticks on for some contrast. Next up is going to be these pieces here. Next up, we're going to put some chrome trim right here, like so. Now, I'm not a fan of these paddles, just the way they feel. So we're going to be changing those out to the F80 style, which are going to match this wheel a little bit better in my opinion. So we'll be including that in this video. Now, this wood trim doesn't help the cause. That will be changed in the future. As you can see, they've done some cosmetic upgrades over time, and just adding these will kind of finish the look in my opinion. When this interior is all black, it can look a little dreary at times. So that's why I want to do this. So we'll get set up and start installing these mods. I'll start with the center console piece here. So we'll start by cleaning the area with some all-purpose cleaner to get rid of any grease. There's double-sided tape included on the piece already. Now it can seem like this is tacky, but really if you pay attention to some of the higher end models like the 6 Series and 8 Series, you'll notice that these type of trim pieces come from the factory and they're left off on the lower models like the 4 Series. But this car was 60 something grand, so you'd think that it could have some have a little bit brighter of an interior. So I'll start in this corner here and let the double-sided tape do its thing. I guess in Europe they would call this bright work, but ultimately it just helps dress things up a little bit because I always felt like this area of the car was a little bit bland when it was all black here. All right, so that's bonded, we're good there. We'll go to the next easiest thing, which is going to be the headlight trim pieces. It's going to be hard to clean behind here, but also it's an area that doesn't really get touched. Before you commit to letting the double-sided tape bond, I would press your buttons to make sure that they're still working, that they're moving without obstruction. And then when you hold this double-sided tape for about 30 seconds, that's it, it bonds. That was easy. So there's a look at that. Coming over to the steering wheel now. You'd have to be a little bit more deliberate with your placement on these steering wheel controls, but I'll work on it now. So I've peeled the double-sided tape. I'm going to try to get this part situated first and then follow with these pieces. Important to make sure your buttons are not going to be interfered upon. Press on them before you commit with the tape. Now, I actually don't like the way this looks with this behind it. I was thinking it would only look good with this pedal behind it, so that's what we're doing after this. My interpretation of these mods is if it looks like it could have come this way from the factory and your average person wouldn't be able to tell that this wasn't how it came from the factory, then it's pretty unoffensive and decent. So easy installs, of course. I find like this is too much chrome right against this chrome here, but that's where these paddles will kind of make it all come together. So far that's how it looks. Now, it looks good, I like it, but I think that the paddles behind it don't look good anymore. And they didn't look good in the first place. There's a look at the center console chrome piece. You would just think that's factory, I would imagine. I think actually this is my favorite. It's just a simple little thing, but it ties that together with the climate controls now. It matches. I don't know if that's an LCI thing where they put that chrome on there, but it looks nice. Next up is going to be disconnecting the battery and disconnecting the airbag to be able to get the paddle shifters out. There's a couple holes on each side. Use a thin small screwdriver, push, and then you can just rock the airbag out. Once you get that forward, you have your airbag connectors. Basically just take it out from here under the one main connection. You'll need a T20 over here to get the paddle out. Goes in on an angle. Now you can just let it hang and work with it from here if you'd like, or you could remove the harness. Okay, so it's a tricky removal. It's easier on this side. I'm going to demonstrate how to change out the paddle on the bench, and I'll do this one on the car. Right here there's a plastic piece which you push up, pull it out, and then when you release this, it's spring loaded, so be careful. You got to slide it this way, like so, and there's your spring. Now if you bring your new paddle, put your spring back, slide it over, align it so you can put this piece back, like so. This feels exactly the same, but looks way better. So I'll bring that back to the car, and then we'll do the other one on the car just because it's a little hard to manage that wiring. You're just left with this, which is really clunky looking. It's kind of funny. Let's go back to the car. That feels great already. So while this one's hanging, I can push that piece out. The plastic dowel. And then slide it over, being conscious not to lose that spring. Spring stayed. Bring the new paddle over, leave the spring where it is. This dowel only goes one way, one side is thicker. I'll bring the paddle back over to the steering wheel, make sure it feels normal. Feel amazing. It's pretty crazy how nice they feel. It spaces them a little bit out, but they look awesome. So reconnect the air brake, make sure all our wiring is still good. Just give it a firm push. So here's how it looks after the upgrade. That chrome was a bit much, but at the same time, it doesn't look so bad compared to those paddles. And I did it as an experiment just to see how it looks so you guys can decide if it's gonna offer value to you and if you wanna consider upgrading your interior. But in terms of feel and ergonomics, they're awesome. They're closer to the edge, and they just look way better. They look like an F80. So my favorite would be this. My second favorite would be the paddles. This would be my third favorite, and the chrome on the steering wheel would be my fourth. But I know some of you guys would like it. But it's just some ideas, something cheap and easy to do to your interior that doesn't look tacky. You know, you guys be the judge if you think this doesn't look good on the car. I think the paddles are a win. There's no way you can go wrong with them, especially since they're metal. So I'll get the battery reconnected now. Alright guys, there you have it. Some quick and simple mods to add to your F30, F32 or F36 just to spruce it up. If this is the first video you're catching on mine, please consider subscribing. If you liked it, please give it a like so it'll rank higher. Thanks for watching.